And today, folks, we are taking a look at the 2024 Kia EV6. Now, this is the Wind all-wheel drive edition, which essentially means that it is the mid-trim level. Now, with the Wind and all-wheel drive system, you do have dual motors, and with the dual motors, you do have about 335 horsepower and over 400 pound-feet of instantaneous torque. Hyundai says it goes 0 to 60 in under 5 seconds, and range is right around 300 miles per charge. Now, I will say, when I got the car, it was, I believe, right at 91% state of charge, and the range was showing over 300 in eco mode. Now, I have been having a lot of fun in this car, and then I actually recorded the entire video, and the sound was not there. So the battery has drained quite a bit, down to 73%. But I mention all of that because I noticed that even though the battery has drained down from 90 to 70, the power delivery has not changed whatsoever. And I know that's a big point of contention for a lot of EV drivers or people who want to get into EVs, or just have questions about whether EV is for them or not. So I will say, not a lot of change in how it performs, at least from 90 to 70. Now, I really wanted to start this review on the highway. One, because this car is a comfortable cruiser. The seats here are just A1. They're really big, comfortable. They feel like couches almost. They are flat, but this is not the sporty model. If you want a more bolstered seat or something a little bit more sporty, you can step up to the Kia EV6 GT, which is over 500 horsepower. But this is what this car is about. Comfortable seats, very comfortable suspension, taut suspension, especially on the highway and expansion joints. This car just soaks up the bumps really well. Now, also on the highway, this car does have a self-driving function. Kia calls it HDA, which is Highway Driving Assist. They do have Highway Driving Assist Level 2, and Level 2 gives you a little bit more functionality, but this HDA, the standard one, is really pretty impressive on this car. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it on as I continue to talk about the vehicle. So you just press your cruise control button like you would any other car, and then you set your distance, and then you press the steering button, and boom, or I cut it off, now it's back on, boom, the car is set. So I have the speed set right now to 68, maintains the speed really well, and maintains the lane even better. So as I continue to talk about the car, I'll let it just self-drive, and the main thing you'll notice is how often you do not have to touch the wheel. You still do, but it's not as often as in a Tesla or Toyota vehicles or other vehicles out there. Now, my biggest question was, is this car better than the Ioniq 5? That's Hyundai's very popular electric vehicle, which is the stablemate, platform-mate, everything to this one, essentially the same vehicle. But you do have different features and a completely different exterior and interior. Now, where I think the Kia wins is interior design and functionality. Now, of course, you do have these two large screens here. They both are 12 inches. Now, up here, straight ahead is going to be your speedometer, drive modes, all those different types of things. And then to the right is going to be all of your infotainment functionality. Now, I really want to talk about this because the car does have Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. The only thing is it's not wireless. Now, I think for the 25 model year, they'll probably rectify that. I would assume they will, but they'll probably rectify it to be wireless. Otherwise, you do have to plug in your phone right down there, which brings me to this point. That's a USB port and a USB-C port down in the front, and then you have two 12 volts down here as well. Really wanted to mention that because the Ioniq 5, if you watch my other review, depending on which one I post first, you'll notice that the Ioniq 5 has just two USB ports, and USB is kind of an outdated technology at this point in time. So I appreciate them including the USB-C up front as well. Now, as you move along down here to the climate control section, this also controls your radio, believe it or not. There's a button here that you press, and that that makes it for you to control your radio, the native navigation screen, setup, radio setup, all that stuff right there. And then if you press in the middle here to push it down to the fan speed, that is how you control your climate control functions. So to turn the radio up and down, you use the same knob that you use to control the temperature. So that can be a little confusing, but it is something that you will get used to over time, or at least I have. Now my favorite part is this whole middle floating looking console here, very futuristic looking, but I love that you have physical buttons here for your most used functions. Heated and cooled seats in the front as well. You don't get that in the Ioniq 5 without going to a higher grade. And then a heated steering wheel, which is really neat. Your EV button here is how you power the car on and off. Then your gear shift lever, auto hold functionality, parking, and then down below you do have a wireless charger, which is the perfect location, especially for a car that accelerates so hard. You're not going to worry about it flying anywhere. You do have two cup holders here as well, and then you have your armrest here, which is made of this really nice material. I don't know what you call it. Looks like a recycled something, but it looks really awesome, and it feels even better as well. Now, just so you guys know, we are still self-driving in the EV6. So yeah, overall the interior space just feels a little bit more driver centric in my opinion, and that's something that I really like about the EV6 over the Ioniq 5. So kudos to Kia on the interior space. Now, last thing I want to discuss in this very quick review is going to be the audio system. You know, we wouldn't be downshift pass without doing an audio test. This vehicle comes with an upgraded audio system. It is branded by Meridian, does have 14 speakers in it as well. And let's go ahead and take a listen and then discuss right after. Folks, and that is the Meridian audio system in the 2024 Hyundai Ioniq, or in the 2024 Kia EV6 Wind all-wheel drive edition. Now we're going to take it on the street here. Amazing acceleration from this electric vehicle. There we go. I thought I turned it all the way down. Apparently I didn't. Now this car is you know, a cruiser. I'm not even going to waste time talking about handling and things of that nature. The car is just not meant for that. It's not built for that. It does the average thing that a car does as far as all of that goes. The one thing that I just think it does really well is move down the highway very efficiently, very comfortably, and it's just a really great cruiser. Now the car does have different sounds as well. Not sure if you can hear it now, but I'm going to go ahead. Let's see, we go to setup and then sound, and let's see what they call, oh, that's not it, sound. All right, they call it active sound design. Now with active sound design, you can change the way the car sounds as you push on the throttle. So you can do largest, moderate, or smallest change, and when you go to advanced, you can change the actual sound. So right now I have it in dynamic, and this is what dynamic sounds like. All right, let's put it in stylish. All right, now let's put it in cyber. Oh no. I've been driving with it in dynamic mode, which to me sounds the best if I had to choose one. I would preferably actually just keep it off. I think it actually starts to sound a little drony, like as I'm driving right now, it's just making the noise. I don't know if you hear it, but you can cut it completely off if it's not something that you're interested in. Along with the Kia's iPedal. Now with the iPedal, that is the one pedal driving feature that Kia has in their cars. Right now I have it to level 0. Actually, let's do an acceleration run while we're here. Little wheel spin. But that's going to be the one pedal driving situation that Kia has. You have 3 different levels, and then you have maximum. And I appreciate that Kia included that on the cars to make it really a customizable drive for you. So if I have it in level 1, oh, I guess the conditions are not met, it says. But just to explain, there we go. If I have it in level 1, as soon as I let off the pedal, it'll start to brake. Level 2, brake harder. Level 3, it'll almost come to a stop. And level 4, it comes to a stop on its own. So I love that they include it for you, so you could just choose the type of drive that you want the car to be. Oh, Supra. All right, folks, and that's pretty much it on my super quick drive of the Kia EV6, the Wind model. I'm gonna just get out so we can take a look at it really quickly before we get done here. Put it in push button park. Now the styling of the EV6 has not changed much at all. So what you see is what you get. Now you do have some different styling changes than the GT model and the base model. Most noticeably is going to be this bottom grille here. It is gloss on the Wind and completely different on the GT model. You do have different aerodynamic wheels as well. And this car is a lot bigger in person than it does look in pictures. They consider it a sport utility vehicle. So just take that for consideration. Now, if you do want to open the hatch, you do have a button, or you can do it with the key. This is your hatch space back here, which is really, really good space. 60/40 rear split seats, and they can fold down as well. And then, of course, let's step into the back seat. These handles are not my favorite, but I guess you get used to them. And this is going to be the back seat here. Plenty of room. I'm 5'8", and this is me sitting behind myself, and knee room is great. And then, of course, tons of headroom back here as well. And you do have some USB ports to charge in the back, so that's really great. No vents back here. Oh, I'm sorry, no vents right here, but you do have vents on the door sill in the back of the EV6. And then this is going to be the front here. And that's pretty much it, folks. I appreciate you watching this very quick review of the 2024 EV6. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you appreciated any of my content, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.